Eyes if you'd like. And you can allow my words to be the words of your heart. And just take a breath. The recognition is that there is truly nothing for us to do. That God, that universal presence, that energy, that power is our natural state of being. And in this moment, we just allow. We allow all that is not truly us, all our defenses, fears, anxieties, worries. We just allow those to gently fall away. For in this moment, there is nothing to get. We are simply allowing. And as we rest and relax into that presence, we can begin to feel the power and the truth of the love that we are. We recognize we are here for a mighty purpose, and that each of those purposes are individual, and that we will be pointed toward our own wisdom during this time, and that our path will be illumined by divine guidance that is always, always present for us. And in this moment, we intentionally tap into that divine guidance. We allow all else to fall away. I am here. I am ready. Let us begin. Okay, we're going to start with a video that Nicole's going to start for us. And this is Michael Beckwith. And then we're going to talk about it on the other side. We did that really seamlessly. I went through about an hour and 15 minutes with this morning.
Because it does what it says it's going to do.
This isn't it. I don't get to choose the ad. The last one's about cannabis. So.
Can you? So that means that happiness and joy are already built within. And as we're growing spiritually, we're removing filters from seeing or feeling the happiness that's already there. When we're somewhat blocked, happiness is conditioned. We say, well, I got a new car, therefore I'm happy. Or this person didn't call me back, therefore I'm unhappy. And so it's conditioned based. But as we mature spiritually, and we begin to touch into our real nature and being, we notice that we're happy, regardless of what's going on. Something bad happens, we don't like it, but the happiness is still there. Someone doesn't call us back, some plan doesn't work out, we don't like it, but the happiness is still there. So that's a sign of spiritual maturity.
So can we define happiness as the way to transform every emotion and transform it into feel something great?
Yes, you can basically, you discover your happiness when you're able to see that in every circumstance there is possibility, there's potential, and there's an energy behind it pushing you to a greater expression of who and what you really are. People become frustrated and unhappy if they feel there's no way out, if they feel that every road is blocked. But in reality, with a capital R, there's no such world. No world like that exists. We're surrounded by infinite possibilities. And so, with a shift of perception and attitude, you begin to see those possibilities. And those possibilities invite us to activate potential within us. The gifts and talents within us that are latent, the possibilities invite us to activate, to discover and activate those possibilities. So again, then happiness would be us becoming more ourselves. That'd be a very blissful state, you see. So it doesn't deny that bad things happen in the world. It doesn't deny that people die. People die on us. You know, people leave. jobs change. It doesn't deny that. But when we come to an understanding that even with all the changes that are going on in the phenomenal world, there's still something about us that's permanent. There's something about us that's forever. And that part of us that's forever is spiritual, which means it never began and it will never end. And as we become more and more identified with that, identified not just with a belief system, but identified that with some kind of spiritual practice, some kind of focus, some kind of intention, then our life takes on a whole different vibration.
How we can overcome the fear of rejection?
Rejection is paying too much attention. The fear of rejection is paying too much attention to what other people are thinking about you, and what other people are thinking about what you're thinking about. And people live in that kind of a bubble. I wonder if that person likes me. I wonder if this person appreciates me. And that's the wrong mode of being in the world. You have to think about what the universe thinks about you. And the universe thinks you're important. Whatever name you want to use, you can say the universe, you can say the cosmos, you can say God, whatever. What does the universe think of you? And because you were created, you have meaning, you are important, you're worthy, you're worthwhile, because you weren't made accidentally. You weren't just accidentally made. Nature didn't just come together and accidentally make you. There was a perfect idea behind you with complete potential and possibility to be activated. So you have to begin to think about, we all have to begin to think about, how does the universe think about me? Not how does that person over there think about me? Not how those group of people over there think about me. That's a waste of my time. Then I start to people please. I start to do things to make them like me, which may take away from my mission, may take away from my authenticity. It may take away from my powers, because I'm thinking about what they're thinking about. And they're thinking about what I'm thinking about. Everybody's thinking about what other people are thinking about what they're thinking about. No.
And what difference do you see between pay attention to others,
Yes.
and learn from feedback of others?
Yeah. You can learn from feedback from others. I'm not overly concerned about what others are thinking about me, because I'm living my passion and my purpose and my intention. And then life gives me feedback. If I'm being stubborn in some area, then there'll be some feedback from either life itself or from people. If I'm being arrogant, you'll get the feedback. If you're being wishy-washy, you get the feedback. So you learn how to pay attention. As you mature and become more comfortable with yourself, you're able to take criticism. And what happens is you start seeing, they're called the two imposters, criticism and praise. There are people that praise you and people that criticize you. But after a while, you don't really care about either one of them. They're called imposters. And so if somebody's criticizing you, say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, shut up, whatever. You don't care. It's like, thank you for your feedback. And if somebody says, oh, you're the greatest, you're the best, you say, thank you for your feedback. You start treating both the same, because you're not trying to get something from the people. You're giving a gift to the people. You're getting your information and your energy directly from the life force. You see, you're getting fed by life. Life is giving you information, and you're sharing it. And if people don't want it, and they say, it's a bunch of baloney, thank you. I won't give it to you. And if somebody says, I want it, thank you, here it is. But after a while, praise and criticism, you don't really care, because you're becoming so in tune inside of yourself.
Yeah.
It's like if you are a mathematician and you know that 10 plus 10 is 20. It's not an opinion, And you stand in front of a group and you start to do your math, and somebody says, I don't believe that. What are you going to do? You're going to say, okay, thank you. You know 10 plus 10 is 20. You say, okay, thank you very much.
Good example.
They're giving you feedback where you need to grow. Because when you get out here as a public figure, people talk about you. If you do really good, they talk about you more. You do really, really good, they talk about you really, really more. It goes with scale. And then you learn this. Mediocrity attacks excellence all the time. And so if you're seeking to live an excellent life, those who have agreement with mediocrity, they attack you. Because you're making them uncomfortable. They want to stay small, so they attack people who are trying to do big things.
Let's talk about the law of attraction. According to you, how we can use the law of attraction?
Well, the basic, first start with the basics. The basic law is what you chronically think about is what you bring about in your experience. A thought is a unit of mental energy. Energy can never be created or destroyed. Energy just keeps changing itself into higher or lower expressions. So if you're constantly thinking negative, life is hard and then you die. There's not enough good jobs around. There's no
crisis.
Yeah, everything is working. Then your body temple gets that message. The cells of your body begin to hear that. It starts to produce toxic chemicals. Your immune system starts to become unhinged, starts to be impaired. Your thinking starts to go down because of the toxic chemicals. And you start to bring about what you're thinking about. You become sick, not as much energy, so therefore your opportunities are depleted, your energy is down, critical thinking goes down, and then you start to bring about that negativity that you're describing. But you be changed around, and you begin to say, I'm surrounded by opportunities. Life is good. Everything's working together for my good. And I'm surrounded by infinite opportunities. Prosperity is right here. And then what happens, when you start to say that, your mood is lifted, tonic chemicals and endorphins start to go through the body, starts to amplify your immune system, your thinking becomes more clearer, you start to see life differently, you start to see opportunities that you couldn't see before, possibilities open up that you didn't even know about because your attitude has changed, and what looks like the law of attraction is simply you lifting your vibration so that you can see the potential that's here. And then we call it the law of attraction, but what it really is, I call it the law of radiation, the law of emergence. Because what you're doing is allowing that which is within you to come out and to radiate and to emerge and to express. And then in the physical form, good things happen. And it looks like you're attracting it. What's really happening is you're radiating it, and what you're radiating is becoming visible.
See, that's what I was doing before. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of the things that he said. And the reason why I chose this video is, first of all, Michael Beckwith, if you're not familiar with him, Google him. I love Michael Beckwith. I find him to be very inspirational. And I really, as we've said a lot, there's so much that we ingest that's negative, and he's got a lot of great stuff to say. But the reason why I chose this video in particular is because we're talking about illumination, and he talked a little bit about several different points. So I just wanted to kind of highlight those. The first thing that I wanted to highlight was he said, as we grow spiritually, we are removing the blocks and barriers we have accumulated that have kept us from the experience of our happiness, our illumination. So the recognition is that happiness, joy is our natural state of being, and what's happening as we are evolving and growing spiritually, those barriers to experiencing that natural state of being are falling away. And I'm going to talk about how we do that. But that's what we're all in the process of. That's what's happening to all of us right now. Every day, every moment that goes by, we are conscious individuals who have committed to our own inner work, to our own self-actualization, and what's happening through that process is we're letting go and dropping down barriers to experiencing that happiness, that power that is us. I love this. In every circumstance, there is possibility and potential. There is an energy behind that experience that is pushing us toward illumination, new insights, the uncovering of unique gifts. So let me tell you about this morning. There was a video that we just watched, right? And Nicole was lovely, and earlier in the week, she put that video, she embedded it into the PowerPoint. And I get here at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I was here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went to go put that PowerPoint, on the little flash drive so I could rock it over to that little computer and that you guys would be able to see it here. And everything I did made things worse, and the video would not come on, and the music team was here, and I normally lead like a music meditation. I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot meditate. I have a video to take care of right now. Spiritual leader, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting like so upset, like the more the time goes by, because then I go over to this thing and I'm like, it's okay, I'll just look up the video on this little machine over here. Well, guess what? The I doesn't work on that machine. The letter I doesn't work. Guess what has the letter I in it? Michael and Beckwith. So just want you to know that. So then I go, okay, it's okay. I'm going to go to my computer in my office. So then I go to my computer and I open up Outlook, and Outlook says, working. So I can't even pull up the video that I had sent her before. So I'm walking around and I started making noises. The music team remembers. I definitely let out some kind of guttural noise. I think one of Paige's children said, "What's wrong with her?" I laid down on the chairs, and what happened is I had this moment where I went, so what is this? What's this about? Like, what's trying to emerge from me? What is this trying to show me? And I know what it's trying to show me, and that is that I have this new. One of the things that life has so kindly asked me to do all the time is to be vulnerable and to share my real life experiences in real time with you. So you all get to see the absolute best of me all the time. And because of that, I've also thought, it's important though that there's a level of professionalism, and that I keep this level of professionalism. And so, I've asked John in the beginning, we worked this whole thing out where he's going to do the PowerPoint thing and switch it from this one to that one so that I'm not running back and forth. And we hit go on that last week, didn't we? And guess what happened? Lydia didn't have the clicker, so it didn't work out anyway. We did all that, and it still didn't look professional. And then I'm doing this, and I'm thinking, and the whole time what I'm thinking about is, how is this going to make me look to all of you? Which is not my job, which is not the point of what I do here. And so I begrudgingly set down this whole notion of video to be video or not to be video. And you see, I had the intention to be professional, and what was the ad? Just before Thank you. So what I've discovered is that for me, whatever this is about, I am to let it go. I am to let it go, and I am to not care about how I appear or don't appear, and just be raw and vulnerable. And apparently, that's just the way it's going to be, folks. So I'm sorry about that. I am working on it, but we'll see what happens. So, okay. So in that circumstance, and obviously that was a small one, that was a minor one, that wasn't big life, but literally in every moment like that, there is something trying to get to us. And if we'll stop and just accept the feedback. Say, what's this here for? What's trying to emerge from me? The powerful questions will get our next step, our next lesson. Bedford, you said this in your thing, and it's a bullet point on my thing. Okay, so anyway, any attribute you give to God, divine mind, powerful, wise, good, loving, that is the truthy of you. I erased the Y. I saw the Y and I erased the Y. Okay, the truthy of you is that you are an expression of God. Unique and perfect, just like you are, and any attribute that I would give to that loving God energy, that's me, because I'm an expression of God. So I guess professional is not an attribute I would give to God. Personally, you must not be. It's not a he. It's not a man or a woman. Okay, good. All right. So the truthy of you is that you're an expression of God. Oh, I love life so much. As you begin to live your life with the intention to discover the truth with a capital T, you grow and mature spiritually. You become so in tune with your inner being that praise nor criticism have meaning for you. If there is feedback from your soul to be gained from what someone is telling you, you will know it. Otherwise, it is meaningless. Your sense of worth comes from inside you, not from external sources. What I love about this is that I remember reading this from different teachers, put in different ways throughout the years. And I can honestly say that this has become more and more and more true about me. And one of the reasons why I put this bullet point up here is so that you will begin to recognize it in you. Because it is such a great moment when you begin to understand that praise nor criticism can touch you. That you have become so in tune with you and who you are and your worth that all the other stuff doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that the world isn't always giving us feedback, because we do get feedback, right? But we'll know if the feedback is for us or not. And it has nothing to do with praise or criticism. What time is it? Okay, I have a couple minutes, so I do want to read it. Okay, so I want to read you this poem because I love it, and you guys are probably familiar with it. But it's called If by Rudyard Kipling, right? And I think that this point here is described perfectly in this poem. If you can keep your head about you, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to made a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build 'em up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and soul hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. I have it framed. I actually framed it and gave it to Keith because my husband Keith is a carpenter, and there was one point in his life where he had spent a whole lot of time accumulating very, very expensive tools. And I didn't know this before meeting my husband, but apparently a carpenter is only as good as his tools, because there's about 700 million different saws. I thought one, but no, there's many. And so he had spent all of this time accumulating these wonderful, wonderful tools to help him be this craftsman. And there was this point in his life where he lost them all. Lost all those tools, and what he has done is scoop down and start again, and now he's got a trailer full of them and a garage full of them and all of those things, and he's done it, and he's done it beautifully, and he really did start again. He really did start again in many different ways. Law of attraction. I love what he said about law of attraction, because we talk about it all the time, don't we? We talk about law of attraction, and then we think we need to pay super close attention to our thoughts. And for those of us that think a million thoughts a day, which is all of us, that's a lot of work to be zipping back every bad thought that you have so that you don't have some bad manifestation happen. The recognition is this. Law of attraction is really just life bringing back what you are radiating outward. That is why the intention is to become the highest expression of ourselves. If our intention is to become the highest expression of ourselves, then what we are radiating is mirrored back to us in the world of form. That is what law of attraction is. It is not about visualizing so that you get something. You cannot have what you're not willing to become. You become it. That is the point. And that's what's happening as we grow spiritually. All the things that aren't really us are falling away. We're becoming who we are. We're radiating. And then on a walk, we say that we're going to give this coat away or we want this other one. And by the end of coffee, someone pays us $40 for the coat. That's radiating who we are. That's radiating our power. That's law of attraction. Not, I'm going to visualize this coat. Nothing's wrong with visualizing. I'm not down on visualizing. I'm just saying that when you make your aim to become the highest version of yourself, the stuff, the manifestation stuff takes care of itself. You're in the business of bringing about the highest expression of yourself. And this is the last one. There will always be new layers of understanding. Illumination, spirituality, enlightenment is not a goal. I had to say this to me, right? We've been talking about it over the last several weeks. Illumination is not a goal. We either are illumined, is that right? Illumined in a moment, or we are not. We are either enlightened to the moment, or we are not. But the human experience, we are here to have a human experience. And through grasping that fully, we can reach the spiritual enlightenment experience. But if we try to bypass and we make illumination a goal, rather than highest, truest version, highest, truest expression of myself, the truth of who I am, to be and show up as love, to be truly helpful, if we make anything other than that our focus and our aim, we're going to miss it because we've made it into a goal. And that's not the point. As long as we're breathing, there'll be a new layer of understanding, a new level of understanding in everything, all the time. We're never done. We're always becoming. And that's the excitement and the joy of life. So let's pray together. So I invite you to close your eyes and just take a breath. In this moment, I recognize that I am a unique expression of God. I recognize that the truthy of me is perfection. I recognize that I am good. I am worthy. That I don't need to do anything to earn love or value. I recognize that divine wisdom is my inheritance. That I am one with the energy and the power that we call God, the universe, spirit. And that in any moment, I can take a breath, and through my intention to tap in to the truth of me, I will reach that divine wisdom. It is my intention to be truly helpful to me. I recognize that when I have the aim to become the highest expression of myself, I am serving the highest good of all of those around me, of all whom I touch, and all who I don't even know. For in truth, I am one with them. I am one with others. I am one with God. And I accept this. I open up. I am willing. All I want is truth. One more breath. And as you are ready, you can open your eyes. The recognition is we've created a sacred and prayerful space that we will keep with us and carry forward with us.